We are back, and here's your intro. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's show, The Plumes of Hazard. Before we introduce everybody, I would like to take a moment of silence. Because we can all learn to get along with each other. I think I froze.
You did. That's the most brilliant deadpan ever.
What the hell is going on? That's not...
Dude.
Hi, everybody.
Right. Dude, I think there's sunspots. There must be sunspots. Google's screwing up. Look, my freaking overlay's gone again.
I never put mine up, dude. I'm way ahead of you.
Well, I put mine up twice, and I'm not refreshing again.
So to continue the...
I'm still frozen!
Come in on a different account, dude.
Oh,
Oh, man.
that's priceless. I'm trying to figure out, too, if... Welcome, everybody, to the... What episode we're on right now?
Episode 45.
Hey, boys and girls, that's what happens when you mess with God. He don't fuck with you.
Whoa.
Shut up, dog!
You sure it wasn't? Did you like drip some sweet tea or something?
No! This is bullshit because I'm sure everybody's like, oh, Mass always does these things and sets this shit up. No, I don't. I try to be funny and then I look like a dumbass.
All right. Well, so we've had the homepage.com problems. We've had hosting problems. Now we've got Google problems. Mass Blast's camera won't ever refresh.
It's frozen again.
Problems.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah, and now it's not potato anymore. That's good.
Chat working?
Chat is working. There are people in chat.
Which
Wait, damn it, Dakota.
Okay, it's back up. Cool.
Yeah, we seem okay.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
All right. Good.
Let's hope that things continue to work.
How about we do what we're vaping? How about you, Fu?
Yeah, I was about to sign into chat. I got Darkstar from the Vaporator, Stash E-Liquids on my Stellaire. And Creme de la Crepe, Epigus Nebula on the Odin. And I'm not even going to talk about Raspberry in my Cape Bun because I need to change my wick. That shit is unvapable right now.
Yes. That means I'm up. I do have a fresh wick for Raspberry in the Rose, Lushington and a K-Fun with the Science Vaping gear on it, and something in my dripper, which we'll be talking about shortly on my Duque and the Tobe and the Chuff Cap.
So my Rose needs to be rewicked terribly, so that's not even.
If you wanna ride,
I have
ride the white rose.
in this little Plumes of Hazard box. I'll talk a little bit more about Agent P now that I've had it for a while later, and then I have Raspberry in the Chrismon K-Fun.
Hey, guess who sent me a message a little bit ago?
Who's that?
Alonzo. Guess who?
Oh, yeah?
Guess what he just got?
What do you get?
He got a Rose.
Who gives a fuck?
What are you vaping, Masty?
I'm vaping another beta from Stashy Liquids that is delicious. That'll be coming out soon, and I'm vaping that on the DNA 40 ice stick. Yes, no, I won't build one for you. And then in
Now it's on camera, so it's real.
yeah,
It's
of
remote
course.
last week.
I mean, because putting up a video of it, making pancakes.
Bacon pancakes.
And then on my test box here that we have the SX Mini I'm testing out, I got some Dark Star by Stashy Liquids. So
Hey, is that
rocking the
ammo?
juice for about a week.
See ammo? Did I see ammo over there?
I think so. Emma, come here. He'll come
That's
up.
one of the best dog names ever. I love it.
He'll come up and say hi.
Hi, ammo.
You want to do the show for me? You do tech time? No, you just like to fucking bark.
Especially at me.
Yeah. He good boy. So yeah, that's what I got.
Word. So today is a hostful episode. Did we cover that already? I don't think so.
Well, we kind of said this is some number of hostful episode. The 45th total episode. 50 will be kind of a big one. That's coming up in just a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just us flying by the seat of our pants and kind of bullshitting today.
Yeah. Kind of like always. We just don't have somebody else come in.
That's true.
We have nobody to bullshit.
We don't have that little grayish picture down there at the bottom, just looking at us, going.
Foo, you want to start your review section?
Yes. I mentioned last week that I did see some SVD2s at work. Well, I got to play with one for about 3 minutes today. I didn't have much time to do so, but I did. And it's good. If anyone owns an SVD, I guess in hindsight it was clunky. The button would fail eventually. But Mast, I think, has the video. I took a short video playing with it.
The video? No, I have the picture.
I emailed you a video.
Oh. Okay. I'll pull it up.
Oh,
So
so
I'm talking about it.
so this is the one that's the Evolve controlled, right?
Yes, for those who don't know, Inokin and Evolve partnered up to make some shit together. And this is one of those products. So me personally, I was not a fan of the original SVD. It was heavy, it was big. I mean, this one's long as well, the 2, but it is. Forgot to measure it. I don't have calipers on the go, but
Not quite staff of Agamemnon long, but long.
well, the tube portion where the chip is, that's like a good amount of heft. But the thing is, it's aluminum, so although it is long, it is light.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or aluminium for our friends overseas.
I got the video, Sean. I didn't get the I got the picture, not the video. Just JPEG.
Oh, I should have sent. I thought I sent you a video. I just forwarded on Ahmed's email to MassBlast.
Well, there it is. I mean, if you want, look.
That's because he didn't actually send me a video. He sent me a fucking JPEG.
There you go. Look at the video. It's moving. Hey guys, my name is Fubaka. I'm from that show Plumes of Hazard.
I did see that.
Today we're looking at this SVD.
Send me a video, dude. You
And there you go. There you have it. I'll just keep.
Here,
pinning
I just
it down.
I just sent it to you again.
It's empty. It's not sending the video.
Well, what the fuck? I just hit share, and then I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't go. So there you go.
We'll post a
Blinding
bit
outside.
Bill posted a review. That was shared. I think a few other people. Todd had one up first too, I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. He lost his facial hair powers, so he's in a weakened state.
Man, I was having such a good day.
And then
And then this happened, man.
And then the video didn't send, damn it.
Okay.
And apparently we're having a lot of consistent issues with the home page. I apologize.
Please, Stuart. It is a DNA 20 chip that is in there. The 510 connector is pretty solid. It is lightweight, although despite being quite long, but it fires nice. The one thing that kind of keeps me from actually wanting one is the buttons. They're opposite the screen, and they're like semi-recessed because they're on an angle, and they're kind of a pain in the ass to press, and kind of hard to find if you're not looking at it. But they're around $100. You'll find them online, 100, 120 bucks. Not a bad buy.
That's not bad.
No, I don't think so. DNA chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you don't mind the longish tube.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting about 15 messages now being like, the home page is still down. It's still down. I can't load it. It's still down. Sorry.
Reset your cookies, man.
No, it's still down for me, too.
Check your TCP/IP settings.
If you're in there, don't refresh.
Oh, Mass, do you want to share the actual picture?
That is the picture.
The link in chat.
I sent you another picture.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
My God, there's so much stuff going on. Oh, yeah, that second picture? Yeah, I'll share that right now.
Sweet. Yeah, so I got to play with one of those yesterday at work. It is a brass billet box. It's got a really sweet button.
It's called the Flipper, yeah?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
I think so.
Well, anyway, I wasn't aware of its existence until yesterday. And
Probably pretty hefty, right?
it is hefty, dude. That's like a murder weapon.
It's not that bad.
Dude,
Oh, that shit's got some weight to it, though.
those corners are pretty hefty, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
The brass one specifically, not the regular one.
No, the regular one's light.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The brass is like fucking.
Oh, yeah, the brass. I
Yeah,
forgot.
it's beefy. That is what I've been told.
How much do those run?
$500 or so.
How much?
$500 or so.
Damn.
See, I was more when I saw the picture, I was more interested in these guys right over here, the little squonkers. Looks like a 3D printed one, and it looks like a wood one there. So
Shout out to one of my regulars at work that I haven't seen in a while. He kind of came by yesterday. His name's Dimitri. He's a regular on ECF.
it's like one of these guys.
He's also a modder.
Yep.
He's a really cool, knowledgeable dude. Always glad to have him in for company at work.
Very nice.
Yeah, I guess that wraps it up. For me.
All right.
Thanks, Steve.
I've got a couple things that I was going to share. I will post the first one in here. That's the first time I saw it was on ECR, so I'll give the link shout out to that. Shots fired for rebuildables. So, as you guys have probably seen this week, Kanger and Aspire have both come out with clearos that are going to supposedly compete with rebuildables. Which, I mean, to me, I should probably talk about both of them. So the link that I put in there is the Atlantis. The picture made me laugh because the box of tools for rebuilding has like a hacksaw in it and like a chisel and all kinds of ridiculous stuff. And then like a Tobe clone that's the size of my face, all of which made me laugh. But funny pictures aside, we've got the Aspire Atlantis and the Kanger sub-tank. And Masty, if you put up, yeah, thank you. Put up the Aspire one. Can you focus on him, Shano?
Already done.
Thank you. So that's the Aspire one. Both of them kind of share a lot of similar sort of features from what I've been able to see. I know that Suck My Mod's got one and Grimm's got one. Grimm actually just put up a quick look on grimgreen.com. You can go check out his look at the Kanger version, which is the other link that I sent you. If you don't mind popping that up.
Yep.
So here's the Kanger one, and honestly, I think the Kanger one's actually pretty sexy looking for a Clearo. Looks pretty clean. So they both look pretty cool. You can push apparently 40 plus watts out of these little guys, with gigantic, juice flow channels and stuff. The one thing I think that's kind of interesting, at least I know specifically about the sub tank, is it's got an RBA head that you can put in there. So instead of buying coils, you could actually just wrap your own and throw it up in there, which is kind of cool. I don't know how easy it's going to be to do that. I haven't seen anybody actually talk about the RBA section yet. But yeah, to me, and I'll throw it out to you guys. But here, my take on it is, you've got two tanks that are, going to be that newer users, blow some clouds and make a lot of vapor and stuff if they like. But my thing is, I've seen that the initial numbers for the heads are like $6 a pop.
Whoa.
And that's, to me, that's crazy. Even
Those things better last forever.
Yeah, and they're not. They're gonna, and not only are they not gonna last forever, like every other one's gonna be a dud.
Running it at 40 watts,
right.
2 days, 2 days at most.
Exactly, especially if you're running normal Clearo, style juice.
Yeah, if you're running max VG, oh god. Yeah, hey, let's see.
Anything with ethyl in it.
Yeah.
In the trash.
Mm-hmm. Straight in the trash. But, it makes sense for them to be pushing this way. It's a little concerning because the people that buy clearomizers are often people that are running, less expensive, intro newbie kind of mods, which is a little concerning, throwing these half-ohm, heads on these things, right? So, anyway, the short of it is, if you're a new guy that is watching, a new girl that's watching, make sure you know at least what you're getting into. Make sure you're putting these things on the right mods, something regulated, or if you know the right battery safety and all that stuff, you can put it in a mech. That's cool. But anybody?
Aspire's putting out batteries for these.
Yeah, exactly. They're putting out specific like Ego styles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now they're Ego styles, but they're not. They're more like 22mm Ego styles.
Oh, right. Dude, I think I saw some in the. Oh man, that's what that package was at work.
Yep.
Yeah, like
I got a glimpse of the box. I thought it was like a Nautilus kit.
Yep.
But
so, what do you think about
concept? I'm for it. Like, is it going to replace rebuildables for people who have been doing rebuilding for a long fucking time? Hell no.
No.
Am I planning on picking one up, and if it's any good, I'll have it sitting around just in case I'm on my way out the door and all my rebuildables need rebuilt? Oh yeah, probably.
At the same time, there are a lot of people who have been rebuilding for a while who just buy one for the fuck of it, just to play with
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
I would be interested slightly in the sub tank because A, it looks good, and B, it's got a rebuildable head, like kind of ready to go. That one is a little more interesting to me.
Now, I think honestly, I think the Aspire is going to be the better one though. Aspire's been kind of blowing away the market.
Yeah, them BVC coils.
Yeah, but they gotta go back and forth, right? Like the Kanger Mega tank was the tits, and then a month later the BVT coils come out, and then the Nautilus takes it, and then both of these things come out. I don't know if the Nautilus one has the rebuildable section. If it doesn't, that's an automatic lose as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
From what I've tried, the Aerotank coils versus the BBC coils right now, dude, I can't say I've felt a bigger gap between the two. At least in the flavor department on their coils, the BBCs are really, really good.
Yeah.
But Aspire's also using ceramic, and I'm not really pro ceramic.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Careful.
If you have it on XC,
Yeah, I better be.
You best watch out, boy.
I better be careful with that. But honestly, I'm not pro ceramic.
No,
I think there are concerns with ceramic, and I don't know how I feel about China using ceramic.
that's the other part. If for those who have vaped on XC116 before, it's got great flavor.
It does.
It does, but it's like, yeah.
Yeah, we've already been down that road before.
Yeah, we have. I think the only concern that I've got is the same one as we've all shared on the show before, which is the similar thing is shops building sub-ohm coils for folks and handing them a mech with the shitty batteries, crossfire batteries or whatever, and then sending them out the door. This is even worse in my opinion because now it's a Clearo, which everybody doesn't really think about.
Which has a sub-ohm coil.
and it's already got a half-ohm coil on it, right? So if that will fire on a twist, which it would, it's to me it's a little concerning. I think we need to be real careful and make sure that everybody understands, the dangers that are involved in vaping something like that. I'm sure they're great. We just need to, just like everything else, just like rebuildable, you just need to know what.
Don't stick it on your damn ego.
Yeah.
Or on your 1850.
Mm-hmm. So, want to talk about that. The other thing we need to talk about is a juice. And before I talk about the juice, I want to talk about this thing that you can see back here on there. So, a friend of mine came over. We were going out to dinner last week, and he built me a Duke out of a cardboard box. It was actually a diaper box in tinfoil. And he pulled up our site and pulled our little faces off and printed up and put in the front. I thought it was really kind of him because he's not a vapor and he just knows that this is something I do. I thought that was pretty cool. So that made me laugh. But the actual present that I got that they brought over was this, which is kind of a cool little wooden box with a little metal clasp on there. The little wax seal in the front. It's Longhorn Vapor Company, which I should probably put the link in chat at this point.
Yeah.
So this couple that came over, link coming up right now. So this couple that came over, she doesn't vape either, but she actually went out to go get my present. She went into a vapor shop and said, "I'd like a juice, please," and they ended up selling her this thing. I hadn't actually seen this before, but I figured I'd give you a little tour. So the little metal clasp opens up. Look at there, little straw. Little fancy 35 milliliter bottle.
35. That's weird.
Yeah. Little child resistance cap, dripper cap. It's pretty good. This one's actually called Lone Star, which, come on, Texas, it's going to make sense, right?
Yeah.
The profile's pretty interesting though. It's a vanilla almond bourbon, which is not really my normal sort of juice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually pretty decent. That's what I've gotten here in the tobe, and it's here. I'll get to the problem here in a minute. Hold on.
I think we lost Cam. Oh, there we go, Brian.
Very nicely. So the problem here is the fact that that link that I just put up there. You can see it's freaking $30.
Wow.
So it was a very kind present. But and it is I gotta say it's a tasty juice. I was surprised because I had not heard of them, and they, it's their premium line or whatever. I guess they've got some other ones as well, which I haven't tried. But while this is tasty, what I was gonna ask the group was, as cool as this is, a wooden box with like a burnt cool thing on the back and the wax seal and stuff in the front, a little rubbery hangy thingy on it. To me, put this in a $30 or a $22 bottle and just give it to me. I don't. What am I going to use this for? It's cool. But is it worth a couple extra bucks?
Yeah. What is it, like laser etch in the back?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's definitely into the wood. It must be lasered because it's really tight. The kerning and stuff on the fonts are really tight. So I'm assuming it's laser.
Yeah.
And it's a fun little box, I guess. But like I said, if that was something I was going to buy myself, I would never pay $30 for a bottle of juice. But B, I'd rather pay $20 and not have all this other stuff that goes with it. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in an Addy and I'm going to vape it and then I'm going to throw it all away. Or recycle it for the tree huggers out there.
Nice.
So I mean, to me, I think something like Witty, and he had a thread. Somebody posted a review on him the other day, and it made me think about this again. Witty Octopus has got really cool presentation, right? All of his stuff is hand wrapped in what they call it, packing paper. It's tied with a little bit of jute and it's got, handwritten labels and stuff on it. That's all really cool, but he does it at a $13, price point, and his juice is fantastic. And is this twice as good because I've got some packaging I'm going to throw away?
Yeah.
Not to me.
No, and the packaging thing too is I think the presentation is nice, but if you're having to add cost to the juice, then I don't think it's warranted, right? Because people are all about, the safety and the caps, and the testing for the juice and all that stuff,
Mhm.
which are legit things that you can pass on to the customer, right? So, but if someone sees, okay, well, this juice is going to be $5-10 more just because of the packaging.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's I'm sure it looks great in a shop, right?
Right.
I've talked with multiple shop owners, and some of them, including Foo's shop, they don't want to carry stuff that's not in glass, right? Because they want it to look nice.
It's not that we don't want to, but that's generally what people go for.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I mean. Yes, it's consumer driven. I'm not saying that the shop is snobby, but that's what the consumers want, and I get that. And does this look really nice? I'm sure. Hanging on a shelf or stacked in a shelf, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it looks great. But to your point, if it's going to add $5 or $10 to the cost, no.
Right.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's what I got. I know.
Sean.
What up? Oh, what do I got? I'm trying to fix our little chat problem. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I should have just fixed it.
Who's blame Prime?
Right.
Blame Prime.
Disabled guest chatting.
Thank you. Okay.
So, if you're a guest, sorry, gotta make an account now. Somebody ruined it for you all.
Right?
So, anyway, for a long time now, I have been promising to do a K-Fun wicking video. I've finally done that video. You can find it on our YouTube. So there's that. We'll talk about that. I want to actually have a conversation about that one.
What, the wicking video?
Huh? No, the IPv3 thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I ordered this 30 ml bottle of Agent P from Bombies, and I talked about it a little bit last week. So that bottle was gone, almost empty. So I ordered 120 ml. I like it enough to order 120 ml. I can only say that about 5 juices, give or take. I also love his 120 mls for refilling smaller bottles.
That cap is awesome.
Well, all the air comes out here, so you can seal it when you fill, and it's freaking phenomenal. This is probably the best 120 ml bottle I've ever used.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody asked me what was on the amp. What is on my amp is the unicorn from Vape Mania, or the horse from Vape Mania that Fubaka blew up for me during the show, that was signed by all 4 of us and Grim Green.
That's funny.
He said it's a pair of panties.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I remember that. He was so happy to have that little horsey going around, and all of a sudden this guy takes it and just goes whack, and it just deflates.
I was quite enjoying myself. So, you know what? I will address this. I will address this because I'm curious. The dude who's doxing, hacking, leak skills our site right now. Why, man? It's a motherfucking vape podcast show. Who gives a shit?
Dude, we're that big time now, man.
Apparently we are big time in
Welcome to
the
the Big Boys Club.
somebody to want to fucking hack us now.
There are like tiers of big timeness.
Right.
He's cute. He knows how to DDoS.
I don't really have time to fucking go through all the logs and shit, because that would be pointless, but I'll do it later. Let Mr. Elite Hacker have his moment of pissing off 100 people if it makes him feel good by attacking a $0 making vape podcast show. Whatever works.
Maybe he didn't like my intro.
It was too long.
I do that.
It wasn't long. Maybe he hacked my camera and he stopped it on the picture of me going looking like an idiot. Here, I'll give you another one. Hurry.
Go.
Take it.
To answer Joe, I haven't steeped it. This Agent P, the 120 ml, just came in today. I haven't steeped it at all. It just got here. I can't. I don't want. I'm not waiting. It's good. I like it.
That's good. I
Um,
need to try it at some point.
Hashtag not waiting.
I'm kind of excited about a new juice Vapors Nol's coming out with. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The line of the juice is BIY. It's build it yourself e-liquid, and it comes in like packs. So you get like 330 mils for like the price of what you pay most places for 130 mil in an empty 12 mil bottle. And then there's a recipe card, and it basically like this pack you can mix these juices. If you get this pack too, you can combine them for these different juices. And it's basically just about, letting people experiment with mixing their own juice from these flavor bases.
Hmm.
It's kind of a cool concept.
No, it is a cool concept. I think that's kind of an interesting push for a juice vendor.
Yeah. Get people to experiment a little bit. That's cool.
It's like a chemistry set for vapors.
And that's kind of that's really what they're going for, is like the vaping chemistry set kind of thing.
Now, one thing I didn't catch a minute ago, and maybe because I spaced out a minute, but are these the ingredients that they're sitting out, or these are the finished juices plus a recipe?
So it's 3 different juices and then a recipe card to make them yourself, to make juice yourself, to mix together. So you'll get like a strawberry, a banana, and something else, Right. I don't know the individuals, but it's a cool concept.
Yeah, no, it is a cool concept. I think that's kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious how well it goes for them, actually.
Mm-hmm. And otherwise, I mean, it's a lot of juice for a pretty good price, because you're getting like 90 mil for like the price of a 30 mil or a 50 mil.
Sure.
I'm good done with that.
In terms of us being the most professional show in vaping, my hat is no longer washed out, and I want to share with everyone why that is. So my hat is no longer washed out because I made a diffuser.
That's the worst time to freaking mute him.
Thanks, man. So there you go. That joke's over now. Fubaka ruined it. I was making fun of myself, man. Come on.
I know. I went like super understudyception. And muted you anyway.
There is a clone of the variant coming out that's up for order right now.
Of the
Really?
variant, like the second one? Like the V2?
Yeah.
In relative terms, it's appropriately priced.
Oh, that's a cut up T-shirt up there, by the way, for anybody who's curious.
More panties.
Yeah. So the variant clone, 250 watt variant clone, is going to be $220.
$220. What's it powered by?
Wow.
Well, you got to bear in mind the real one's $700, right? I mean, the clones of these emo devices are coming out. They're pretty expensive.
Yeah.
The Zero clone's like $109 or $160
powering
or whatever.
What board is powering it, though?
Oh, I don't know.
How many watt?
260. It's 8.4 volt with 2 LiPo batteries, an LCD screen, 510 threading.
Wow, that's quite the packaging. I actually haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, it's pretty much close to it's the same packaging that the variant comes in. Which you would hope it comes in nice packaging for $700.
I don't see any picture with the screen lit up, though, yeah?
Well, that might be a picture of a real variant and not the clone. Who knows?
Es posible.
Nice. All right. Let's see. I like that pre-order. That's something that I saw too. I saw that we had talked about the Zero there was a clone of the Zero out, and what I found interesting was that it was still, I know the original Zero is what, 500? You said, Sean?
Yeah, 400.
400 and change.
400. Okay, so 400. So this thing was still clocking in at 160 something, and you could find them for probably like 110, 120. But it was interesting that they were still that high, with the clones, and I think part of it is the work that even the people who are cloning these things are having to put into them, right? So it's not like it's just an off-the-shelf part. It's got a fiberglass piece. It's got small little parts that go with it. So it's very interesting that I think their margins are getting shorter and shorter. When they're going after these high-end mods. So.
Yeah.
But.
Yep.
Is that all you got, Understudy?
No, so you have that picture of the ghetto
do.
mod?
I do. I actually have a few other ones too that we'll bring up. So there you have that one. And that one was posted earlier, or on one of the hangouts by Arminish.
Yeah, that's lovely. Isn't it?
And as you can see, you have the extra welding slag holding everything together, and what it looks like, some heavy-duty gauge wire going into. Somebody mentioned it. Even the it's the fratro. It's a fake tratro. We'll call it the tratro. There you go. CH. Man, that's a freaking tongue twister. CH Tatro, and something that I didn't notice till just recently. This is kind of funny. The freaking look at the plastic on the battery getting chewed up right there in that area right there. It's just like, what? So, and the insulation up there and just all that that's pretty scary.
Plastic stuff on the side, that's not important, right? You can be touching metal and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and the best part is hey, at least he listened to us and didn't put a 2-amp switch on there. He's just got bare wire, loose, that you make the connection right there. Hey, at least, if anything, he listens. Or she listens, we're not going to be gender dependent here. It listens because at least they have some heavy duty gauge wire there. So, but yeah, there's that, and it looks like he's using, or this person is using, a modified, looks like a Fat Daddy 510. Who knows? He probably built his own 510. So, there you have it.
It's amazing, really. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, the other one that I wanted to show is this guy right here. And apparently this guy built himself a MOSFET box with a lot of batteries.
A plethora.
Let's see. Somebody do the math. How many batteries are in there?
8.
So 8. Yeah. 3, 4. Yeah. 8. So somebody do the math on that. That's a lot of Ma, depending on what they are. It looks like they're all in parallel, so they're not stacked. Thank you, baby Jesus, for that. So maybe he just likes a long runtime.
Called it pass-through, buddy.
And you can yeah, and you can tell that he's got them numbered. But they all look like they say 97 on them, so I don't know, dude. Maybe this is number 97 mod. It looks like he's using some house wire. And hey, again, at least he's not running all that through that switch. He's using. It looks like he's using a MOSFET. So, I mean, other than this box, at least, other than the outrageous, ridiculous size, I don't see anything too horrible about it. As long as his connections are made good and he's got some kind of tape and obviously use some of that hot glue in there and.
It looks pretty clean.
Yeah, there you go. So there's
awesome.
that one.
So. Looks like it's pretty pocketable too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when Jinkos come back.
Exactly, if you're wearing Jinkos.
When Jinkos come back in stock, this will be the mod. The accessory with your Jinkos is that mod.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just Man, you'd have to build a custom cup holder for that to sit in.
Oh, you can strap that in the side in the passenger seat.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, there you go. So there's that one. So,
And then the last thing that I had to talk about, and we talked about this a little bit last night, and I want to cover it, is the IPv3 recall.
Mm.
right.
The recall.
The quote-unquote
Total recall.
of the IPv3.
You putting that picture up?
Yeah, I'll send that
Okay.
picture to you. There you go. Here's the photo for you.
Oh, okay. I will put that up right now.
So Liberty Flights, not Pioneer for You, put out a notice saying that they're recalling the IPv.
Mm-hmm.
There it is right there.
Bam. What the hell were they even saying it was? A customer claimed it was faulty. Plastic appeared to be melting on the battery casing.
Yep.
I guess they looked at theirs and said, "Whoa, I
Well,
mean, honestly, good on these guys, right, for at least trying to do the right thing."
yeah, but I commented on this and on Reddit, and I said, here's the thing. For you to melt all the contacts simultaneously and have melted marks all over the contacts is basically impossible to do without venting your batteries or getting something so hot. And when you look at it close, you can tell that it's not melted plastic, that it's some kind of insulation that they put in there. Now, as I suggested in the thread, and I'll suggest here for people who are watching who have one, if your contacts are solid and you move them back and forth and everything's okay, no problem. Just keep using your device. It's not melted plastic, and if you do have issues with your contacts, which I saw some pictures of the contacts that had popped out. I think the reason is on the side that had the spring. Usually there would be a spring and then a plate. And for example, in the Sigelis, I don't know if I can show you on this one, but on the Sigeli 100 watt, there's kind of a spring, and that spring has a plate behind it, and that plate usually sits in a groove, right? And that groove is plastic. Well, on top of that, to seal it off so that it wouldn't come back off, they usually put the silicone or the sealer. Sometimes those grooves that are plastic will pop out and will allow the contact to come out, and you'll see the wires. So if that's the case, obviously that is a damaged unit. Stop using it, pull your batteries out, send it back, or find out about getting some kind of replacement. But if your contacts are fine and they're not moving, and you're trying to move them with your finger and everything's fine, you're okay. You have those batteries in there, and you have your lid on them. It's not like it's an actual switch or moving part or something like that. So I think people don't need to worry about it. I think these guys, yeah, good for them, but the problem with doing something like that, I think, is as a company, is you can create mass hysteria. Now everyone takes
inside chat for you.
a what?
That's related.
Oh, the image. Okay. What happens is I think sometimes with companies doing like that can cause a little bit of a hysteria with people who might not even be involved in it, might not even have the mod, where they're sitting there saying, oh man, there's something wrong with this. This company's recalling them. We have to do something about it. So here's what Pioneer for You released, and we'll zoom in on the pictures, and you can see that they have this is the glue that they're using, okay, and this is the application of it, okay, and you can see in that picture that the square parts that people think are melted, there's actually nothing filled in right there, okay. So there's a fill-in process, and then obviously the finished products with the top part that looks like there's some kind of print or something like that. So this is what they released, and I figured that they were going to do something like this because I'm sure they got inundated with tons and tons of people freaking out, wanting to send their stuff back, and I'd say great, err on the side of caution, and just look at your connectors, and if they're solid and there's nothing wrong with them. So, but yeah.
So there.
So there.
So there.
I mean, you can return it. If you feel like it looks melted to you or something like that. But I don't think there's an issue with it. So
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I
my
don't
opinion.
I don't have one of these boxes, but I do appreciate the market that they're hitting with it. Right, it's a pretty
Right.
decent device for a reasonable price, and
Yeah.
you hate to see them get lambasted.
Right, and that's part of that's just the way that they set up the connector, right? Your contact points. And part of the reason why I think they did that, I'll show you. Let me get this battery out of here. Is because of the contact points. If I can get this battery out. The contact points on something like that you have a spring is going to be a little bit different than something like the Sigeli boxes, which have. Let me see if I can show this. Let me put it up on the screen here. That don't actually have a spring. They have a negative contact, which is solid copper, does not move whatsoever, and then the positive contact has the spring behind it. So this part right here, if I push on it, it moves and it gives, so you could put your battery in and out. Okay, so the spring is built in behind here. Now, I think on the, I don't have an IPv3, and I'm sure that part of the reason they do that is there's not much space behind it to put the spring, so they have the spring incorporated into the sled itself. So, but it's just different types of connectors. You have, that's kind of like comparing the Keystone battery, battery connectors to, the to something like the standard ones you can get on DigiKey, which are a little bit tougher, have harder connectors to pull the batteries out of, so stuff like that. Are y'all sleeping over there?
Nope. Just dealing with all the chat. We should
That's all I got. So you're up, Mast.
I'm up. Okay. Well, I got a few things to talk about. So, first thing we're going to talk about is the SX Mini. I posted a few pictures on Reddit, and I don't remember if I cross-posted that on the Plumes Facebook page, but I was able to get my hands on an SX Mini board. Okay. The board itself has built-in USB. It has auto-sensing voltage, so it knows when you have a single 18650 or 3.7 volt, and it knows when you do a series dual 18650s, and you're at the higher voltage. So what does that mean? What it means is right now, the form factor that the SX Minis are coming in are in a tube, okay, in a tube box, kind of like the ZNAs, and they have the SX Mini in them. So that's a single battery setup for the small ones. What it does internally is it limits your wattage to 60 watts. So if you are at 40 watts with a single battery and you try to jack up the voltage, you get to 60, it stops. So to get to the 120 watts, you have to have the dual battery setup. Now, awesome question that Project 2501 asked on the thread when I posted was, hey, so if I have a box, something like this is just a B box. This is my test box that I take stuff in and out of. Okay, if I have something like that, can I pull a battery out and run a single battery? Or if I have something that has a single battery in it, can I run a dual battery setup on it? And unfortunately, unless someone builds a switch into it or something like that, into the sled where your batteries are going, or depending on how everything is set up, no. Okay, so that's the short answer. So it gets a little bit more complicated if you want to do single battery, dual battery, but or if you're using a lipo or something like that. With the lipo, you could technically have dual modes if you get a lipo that's kind of almost the same size. So you're looking at different size packs. I don't have any here with me right now, but you can have a plug that's the same, and you can have a LiPo that's 3.7, and then you can have a LiPo pack that's the the stacked voltage. So it all depends on how you want to set it up. But yes, the board is smart enough to detect the voltage difference. And the picture that I want to pull up that I noticed was one of the main differences that I noticed between this board and the regular SX350 or the SX 100-watt board. Let me save this image and pull it up right now. Is this huge capacitor on the back of the board? Here's the board itself. Okay.
Damn.
I'll leave that image up there for a second while I get another one of the images. And basically, as you can see, that capacitor is on the input voltage. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is having to do with the fact that it can basically detect the different voltages and adjust accordingly. And it never hurts to have. I'm not going to say it never hurts because it does a little bit performance-wise, but it never hurts to have really clean power coming in. Now with the battery, you really don't have to worry about that. But if you're using an AC adapter, kind of like I do with the Mini, you do want to be able to clean any ripples that might be coming through. So a reason for that capacitor too can be on the input side can be to lessen the load, not necessarily the load, but the spikes that the batteries might see, right? So you have this board, and something that I did notice is these were freshly charged. I've been vaping on the fry for about 2 hours. Let me pull up the other images so you guys can see those. Here's another image. That's a side view of it, and I noticed that inductor. That inductor is pretty big. That's the big round thing sitting in the center there. It's a good size, and as you can see the capacitor back there, and you can see the inductor. One thing that was very interesting was the black part that you see down at the bottom. That is a screen cradle, okay, which is something that they haven't done with any of their boards yet, just with these. And I have a feeling that that's got to do with the fact that this board has mounting holes. Okay, we'll zoom in on those guys right there. You can see those 2 mounting holes there down there by the USB port down at the bottom. Okay, there's your screen cradle. And then there's your U-shaped or little legs at the top of the board, and the switch also has holes. So someone can actually take this and drop it into a some kind of casting or something like that, where you can just bolt everything up, and it bolts up kind of like the SX Mini mod. Okay. Now, one thing that I did notice is the spacing on that screen. At first, when I was looking at it, I said, "Man, that's a lot of space. You could get it closer." So on mine, I cut that and flattened it out against the board. So I cut the little legs off of it, and but now I see why they did it, because if you do mount it in something where you're going to be using the onboard tack switches, I didn't use the onboard tack switches. You basically are level all the way across. So, and in this picture, I mean, you could see the length and width there, and then on this image here that I'm going to pull up right now, you're going to be able to see the thickness, so you can compare. If you have a board that you're working on or you're looking at, there's your other size. So from screen to inductor, it's pretty thick. So you have to take that into consideration when putting it on the board. so far, I'll get a screenshot of the front, but so far so good on the vaping performance. I've been talking back and forth with Yeehee about certain issues and stuff like that, and they actually within the last few days they sent just today an update to an issue that the board was experiencing that they were, made known. They knew about it about 4 days ago, and they just sent an update today that fixed the issue so far. So I'm pretty impressed with that, with how, how progressive they're being on that. I know that, there's still some things that people are waiting on, for like the charging and stuff like that. But at least they're working on the software side a little bit. In this screenshot here, you see a joules, a J down there at the bottom. That's a joules. They're going to be doing measuring in joules instead of wattage or voltage. So that's something that's going to be used.
And my favorite part, the bottom right-hand corner.
Say again?
And then my favorite part, the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, powerful. Yeah, so this is something that wasn't necessarily working with the original. Again, please, anything that I'm saying here is going to be subject to change. This isn't finished product, so some of the things that I might be nitpicking right now are going to be fixed. So on the bottom there, you see where it says powerful, and those are presets. There's a powerful, there's a soft, and there's a standard. Now, as much as I can equate to it without knowing not much information from Yeehee, is the way that I can translate that is when I have it on soft, it's a very nice and smooth ramp up to that 120 watts. Okay, when I have it on powerful, it's bam, right there, 120 watts instant. Okay, and the standard is somewhere in between. And I can actually tell the difference. When I put it on soft, and it does that. One thing that I will say is, I was talking to Nick over at Dog Mods, and he did a lot of testing with the dual 18650s, and it really drains those batteries when you're up to 120 watts, which we kind of knew it was going to, right? So a lipo version or a lipo box would definitely be beneficial to be able to take the load, because it really, when you start adding the sled and you start adding contact points and you start adding all that, you are adding a little bit more resistance between the battery and the board. So it's something that's going to happen, and I can kind of show. These batteries are a little bit used. See if it'll focus there. And I have it on 75 watts. And if you watch the battery meter, I'm firing it right now on that soft version. Okay, and this is a 0.6 ohm, huge coils. I forget how many wrap. I mean, this thing is gigantic. It's around a 4.7 millimeter screwdriver. So these things are huge. And there's the soft. So it's a nice soft ramp up. But other than that, great. It's been working great, and I'm excited because for the longest time, Yeehee said, no, we're not going to release this to modders. This is only going to be to manufacturers. So, good stuff. Next thing I wanted to talk about was, okay, so I was on the road last week on Monday, and you saw the video of the iStick. Okay, so there's the iStick. Okay, that I converted over to the DNA 40. Okay, you can see 40 watts. Okay, and it is a little dark because of the tint that the move my camera. It's picking up all my.
I see your DNA 40 is working, which is fantastic.
Yeah. You can see it there. Okay, there's the temperature control. Okay, and I have a 0.09 ohm build on here with the nickel 200 wire, and I must say the temperature control is definitely there. It's working. They definitely have figured out I have it set to 450. That was the default. I didn't want to change it because I figured most people are going to be doing that. Why did I put the DNA 40 in here? Well, I saw on one of the threads, and somebody was like, "Oh man, that'd be awesome if you could put a DNA 40 in there, or any type of board." The reason I wanted to try it was because I'm an idiot, and I want to waste my life trying to do stupid shit like this. But no, the reason I wanted to try it was, yeah, for the challenge, but how awesome is the form factor on these guys?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys have used them. I didn't know much about the battery, and you can see it sitting right there. Okay, here's the lipo that came out of it. Okay, so I had some people argue with me about that the one that Phil Basardo did had an 18650 in it. Guys, if this is what he pulled out of his iStick, okay, I haven't seen this video. This is definitely a lipo. That's the lipo pack in there. Okay, so that's what came out of mine. Just because it says 18650 there doesn't mean that this is an actual,
Different chemistry.
right, an actual 18650 different chemistries battery. This is actually a lithium-ion polymer battery. So that's what came out of mine. Why did I take this guy out? Well, I didn't know much about it, and I wanted to err on the safe side. I wasn't going to be running the iStick, so I wanted to make sure. So I put an 18650 in there. Like I told people that are asking me to build one, I'm not going to build another one. It was a pain to put it in there. If I would have used different tack switches, maybe. If I would have made a board that had onboard buttons, maybe. But that's a lot of maybes. There's really just not that much room in there. Here is the iStick board. Okay, I'm planning on taking this and reusing it and putting it into a box, and maybe we'll give it away on the show. So this is kind of, I mean, today's tech time is it's really going to be what we're doing now, talking about this stuff, because what I've decided to do is to take this guy and put it in something where maybe we'll do a raffle or giveaway or something like that for everyone to check out. And really, this hookup is simple. You got your positive, your negative, and you could really strap this onto a battery, wrap some electrical tape around it, and you have an iStick. With a 510 on the top. So one thing that I did not mention that I forgot about, the USB port on the SX Mini does charge the batteries when it's a single battery. It does detect when you have a single or stacked. Obviously, if you have a stacked configuration, you want to be able to balance out the cells, and that charger does not do it. Okay, so the onboard charger charges single battery. Okay, not the dual. So there you go. iStick DNA 40. We're doing okay on time. So something that I wanted to bring up. If you have bought a vapor flask, a BAPS DNA 40 3D printed mod, one of Joe Litt's controllers with DNA 40, a Zero, an authentic Zero, any of these things that are from manufacturers, anything from Vape Dojo, anything like that that has DNA 40 in it, from a manufacturer, and you experience any issues, okay? For example, one of the issues that comes up on a very, very low percentage of the boards, okay, we're talking under 6% of the boards that Evolve has made up to today, which is a lot of boards, is you will have the wattage set to 20 watts or higher. Sometimes it presents itself a little bit higher or lower. And what will happen is you'll vape on it and the screen will lock. You won't be able to see anything on the screen. Sometimes you get looks like hieroglyphics on the screen, and that is something that will happen to you right away. Like if you have your mod, it's not like it's going to go, 2 months, 3 months, and all of a sudden it's going to happen. Okay. The issue with that, I was told, was the manufacturer of the actual PCB. Okay, Evolve does not make the PCB. The actual manufacturer of that sandwich board that has a bunch of vias in between it had some issues with quality control and testing. So what would happen is the bus, if you can imagine just how a computer works, it's got your data lines going to the screen. was basically being allowed to get interrupted as it was performing a feature. So, for example, with the DNA 40, if you take the ADDI off, and it's kind of, we'll do it with this guy here, so you guys can see it. But if you take the ADDI off, okay, see if you can see it. All right, and you can tell there's no ADDI on there. Okay, and you put it back on. Okay. It's going to ask you, hey, new coil, is it the same up or down? Okay, and the reason it's doing that is to detect, it knows that that coil has gone off and something new has been put on, so it can detect between cathode. Well, the screen is constantly updating your resistance, right? So the screen has a lot of information coming from a bunch of different ways, what the wattage is, the resistance, all that. And what happens is it gets locked up, okay? Not a big deal. This is the cool part. And kudos to Evolve for doing this. If you have any of these mods that you have purchased, you can either contact the manufacturer themselves, or you can contact Evolve themselves. And they will take back your mod, Evolve will, and they will fix it for you. Meaning, they will reprogram the board. It's just something that has to get the board reprogrammed, and they send it back to you. If they have to rip the board out, they will rip the board out and put a new board in there, or put the board that's been flashed back in and send it back to you. So I think that that's pretty awesome. I mean, I know they had a lot of issues with the DNA 30s in the beginning, but it seems to me that they are on the ball with any issues that are coming up. So kudos to them for doing that. I think that's pretty awesome. So, you know, if you have any issues, you can contact them directly, and there you go.
So to me, that's an insane amount of work for a lot of different configurations and a lot of different mods and stuff. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I honestly think that, you know, that's an awesome and honest way of dealing with that, right? I mean, if it's something that you didn't do, if it's something that you know your manufacturer of these PCBs that they're supposed to be testing them, when you get them, you can build on them and it be 100%. You know, and I know a lot of people are gonna say, oh, well, they should have tested them and done this and that. Maybe they don't have the equipment to actually test, you know, that PCB itself. Okay, so
there have been issues every DNA launch. I mean, it's just the way it is,
correct.
right?
Correct.
Every DNA launch, there's been some relatively major issues. That happens.
Yep.
But the last few DNA launches, people were sending the boards back to where they got the mod, and then they were taking care of it with Evolve. And I mean, that was costing companies probably well into the thousands of dollars for RMAs and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have to speak pretty fucking highly of Evolve for taking it into their own hands and dealing with that on their own dime and not hitting up the companies that are using their boards.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have spent a lot of money, you know, developing and doing, you know, things with these boards. Now, I do know that there are some issues. For example, with the flask, where the button likes to stick sometimes. Okay, it's either the button sticking or it's the wiring going to the board. You have to remember the DNA 40 does not have a shutdown or, you know, timer that says, oh, after 9 seconds we're going to turn this off because you've been holding down the button. Okay, the reason is because of the temperature control. It has to be able to do that. So I can sit here and fire this for as long as it'll go. I mean, you see the temperature there. Okay, it's set to 450. So that, see, temperature reach, temperature protection. That's what you're going to see, and that's it working. I mean, that's it working. Now that, if you have something built, or if I have it turned down to 20 watts, and I sit there and hold it, and it only gets to 300 very slowly, 350, and it takes 10, 15, 20 seconds, then that's how long, you know, it's going to run for. So, you know, there is the possibility where if you put it in your pocket or something, you're going to feel it, right? Now, what is nice is that, you know, you can rely on knowing that the temperature control is working and it's not going to let that cotton catch on fire, right? So the addy might get hot. and this is something that was really weird that I had to get used to. Basically, I've been vaping on it, and all of a sudden I'm like, man, this just doesn't taste good anymore. You know, what's going on? And I look, and I'm vaping. The cotton is completely white, so there's no juice on there, and that's something that I had to get used to as I was using it. That okay, I need to remember to re-drip, you know, because you know you kind of start feeling that dry hit coming when you're using anything else. With this, it kind of sneaks up on you, and you see the white cotton. So, but yeah, again, you know, there are some issues with the flask and stuff like that, and I'm sure that a lot of people have been contacted about it. So not everything is the issue with the board. So as far as I know, those are the small issues that first came out on the first batches with the board itself, software-wise, and it should be as simple as a reflash. You got to remember too that these boards also have on them they have little programming points. So, their pogo pin machine or anything like that will come down, and we'll be able to program. Okay, so and you could kind of see if I can get this one to show up there. Okay, you can see by the up here at the top, and up here you see those little silver spots. Okay, some of those spots are where a programming pin will come down and program the board. Okay. Sometimes they use existing slots like your up or down or anything like that. But there you go. And there's also some smaller ones in between that are just kind of hard to see. But so it can also be they can go in and put those pogos in, flash it with the new one, and on you go. But at least they're doing something about it, which is worth noting. So
speaking of the DNA 40 though, since I think you're the only one of the four of us who's gotten a chance to actually vape off one so far, temperature control. What are your actual thoughts?
I think the temperature control works. I think that when you set something to 450, I've turned it up higher, and it does get warmer. I do know that. Okay, so what we said a while back before we even got aboard, what I was speculating on was they were able to determine what the resistance of that nickel wire is at different temperatures and at different power levels, right? So as the more power that you applied and the temperature went up, the resistance would change, okay? That's why the board is monitoring that constantly. The only issues that I've seen is that I'm more prone to chain vaping because, I hit this at, 70 watts, okay, on a easy ramp up, and okay, that's a good vape. It's powerful, it's strong. I can hit this, and the vape is not necessarily cooler, but it's smoother, if that makes sense. So I see myself vaping more, and my addy getting hotter, so it's working, but you're not giving it a chance in between, right? So I think that with the temperature control, I think another thing that I've seen is juice usage has gone down, at least for me. And I don't know if that's because of you're not maybe flashing off some of that juice with hitting it with high wattage, again, because it only goes up to 40 watts, or if it's that since I'm chain vaping it more and I can take as much more out of the cotton before I start getting that dry hit. It's lasting longer, but it's got to be one of those, But I'd say you gotta excuse me, my dogs are decided to play fight underneath my desk right now. I'd say it's a very interesting vape. It's a satisfying vape. It's not one of the things that. What I was getting to was the if you take the addy while it's warm off, and you put it back on, the resistance that it reads that addy at first is going to be different than when the addy is at room temperature, right? So your equations might be a little different, and I noticed that because I was trying two different addies and they were still warm, and I would get a cool vape and then the warm, flavorful vape, okay? And it was, I think what it was doing, it was saying, wow, the resistance is up here already. So maybe the temperature is up here already, so we'll start the ramp up and then reach. Okay, so what you might see if you do have one of these is you'll see temperature control hit within the first 3 or 4 seconds of your vape, and that's not necessarily correct, right? There is no issue after you've had this on, let's say room temperature, and used it and it gets warm, because it knows the baseline what you started at. So that's one of the things that I saw, and the suggestion was, hey, just leave it room temperature, put it back on, and you're fine. But flavor-wise, I've been noticing that it all depends on the juice. It depends on the juice that you're using. It depends on the addy that you're using. I was rocking the Sigeli 50 watt at my local B&M a couple days ago with the Holmes RDA on it, which is, we talked about it. It's the the bigger version, I say, of the Magma, and the flavor is pretty awesome on this. So what I ended up doing is I said, okay, so I have it on the Tai G. Okay, I have a nichrome, or should I say a nickel wire build on the on my Helios. So what I ended up doing is I set up the Holmes with the nickel wire, and I honestly, it's hard to tell because I turned the Sigeli down to 40 watts, and it's a different vape than the DNA 40 at 40 watts with the same addy. Obviously, I can't do it side by side because I don't have two home RDAs. If someone's out there that's done it side by side to see the difference between the ramp up, is something you can try. But at first, I was, and I'll admit it, I was skeptical about the temperature control. Okay, and now that I've gotten to use it, I can see that since there is not that big of a price difference between a 30 and a 40, I think it is worth getting a mod either upgraded or getting a mod with the DNA 40. Once you get past I'm having to build my atomizer with this nickel wire, and I can't switch it between this and my mech. I think it's okay. Because to be honest, if you're at this level of vaping, you're going to have more than one RDA, right? So you're going to have plenty of things to choose from. I say, give it a try. Locally, I'll post up on my local group, and I'll say, hey, you want to try DNA 40? Bring your cotton. You can re-wick this addy, and you can try it. I think that's the only thing you can do to get people to say I liked it or I didn't like it, right? Take 10, 15 minutes on it, vaping on it, and see what 30 watts with the temperature control feels like. And hey, if you don't like the temperature control, turn it off.
Yeah.
Wrap
I'm gonna
cans
check it
on
out
it.
once we have a stable board and I can
Yeah.
get the board thrown in. I'm gonna check it out. I did get an IM from somebody asking, what have you found the best build to be for it so far?
So, I think that the best build is going to be it's going to be dependent on you. Okay, I like dual coil builds. Okay, I had to build I think it was an 11 wrap of 26 gauge nickel to get down to a 1 ohm level, 1.1, somewhere around there. I wanted a dual coil build because I wanted to throw everything that I could at it. Now, what that can cause is a cooler vape and a cooler ramp up to that temperature. Why? Because now you have more surface, you have more power going to it, so that board is going to take a little longer to get to the 450 or whatever.
Right. Which is anathema to Sean.
Right, which is something that in my Helios that I have a single coil build on it, and these are all contact coil. They're all wrapped around a 3.1 millimeter screwdriver, and it's torched. Okay, this is something that's interesting that I this past weekend at a local shop that had a grand opening, I heard somebody say. And I believe it might have been even Vaporator, but I was letting people try the temperature control iStick, right? DNA 40, and they said, that's interesting. I can usually taste the nickel, okay, but not on here so much. And I'm wondering if that had to do with me torching it, okay, before putting it on. I don't care if it's Kanthal, nichrome, or this nickel wire. I torch the shit out of my wire. Why? Because I can get it to stay together, and that's just how I do things. Because as I'm building, I have my hands as clean as possible, but oils still get on there. Okay, and I think it's very important with these builds that you're doing for your DNA is remember, once you put it on there, you're not going to get those coils red hot to burn anything off that's on there. Okay, so that's something to think about. Now, can you do it? Yes, you can basically turn that temperature control off, put it to 600, and it's gonna ramp it up if you need to. Okay, but I just chose to leave all that default. I torch them with my torch. It takes 2 seconds, and I put them on there. So, and he said that he really couldn't, he only used it for a few minutes. He really couldn't use, taste the nickel in there. Now, that is something that people with allergies need to test. If you have any allergies to it. But I think build is going to come down to you. If you have a single coil, obviously it's going to heat up quicker. But I didn't have, I just wanted to build a dual coil setup. That's what I was going after. So, but yeah, it's a good vape. You're going to get plenty of. See. I have a lot of fans on in here, and you can output some vapor, and I think that's kind of why I was drawn to the dual coil setup. So it's not a slouch, and again, that's set to 450. If you want a warmer vape, you can set it to 480. You can set it to 500. You can set it to 550. Okay, so it's not like you're limited to that. That's set to 40 watts because I've been, running to test the battery on it. And I will say this, battery-wise, on a single 18650, hitting it at 40 watts, it will drain it. Okay, and I think that's also got something to do with the level that the board is keeping an eye on the battery, and I think that for safety reasons, it kind of shows you the level a little lower than the battery actually is. So when you do hit it and you put that amperage load on it, you don't go over. So
now, do you notice a distinct taste with nickel? Because I've been hearing that a lot lately. It tastes like nichrome, and I fucking hate nichrome.
I don't. But again, I don't know if that's because I'm torching it, and maybe. I don't know. Maybe I need to do the test with trying to get it to heat up, actually, like on a mech or something like that, or turn the temperature control off to see if those coils get red hot. Maybe I can get a taste off it. But I don't taste a difference. So,
okay.
But again, that's subjective because my tastes can be. Are different than somebody else. Somebody else might be able to pick that nickel up right away. So,
right.
We should probably do the giveaway and then close. Do we want to close on the mech box?
The mech box.
The video mech box button.
Oh.
While you cue that, let's talk a little bit about next week.
Yeah.
So next week we are going to be having on Fortune Mod. Fortune Mod's, the guy's name is Tim. He's pretty much a one-man shop. He is doing Fortune Mods at 65 pounds a mod for a stainless steel, either an 18650 or an 18350.
Pound sterling.
Yeah, which is about $103.
Yeah.
And we love the affordable Mimo mech mods around here.
That's right.
So we're gonna have Tim on. Because Tim is UK though, and we have so many UK viewers who watch kind of late or who watch afterward, we wanted to talk about this giveaway a week early so that everybody has a chance to enter. And I think, what did we agree on? Best photo.
Yeah, best usage of vapor.
Yes, best.
Yeah. A picture this time, and we're not limiting it to paint and whatever. Just take a photograph.
Yep.
And you can touch it up however you like. Use whatever tool you want. Best photo use of vapor.
I'm trying to get this video up. Give me 1 second.
Best photo use of vapor, and that will be either for an 18350 or 18650 Fortune mod delivered anywhere in the world that he can deliver it. He did say if you live on the moon, postage will cost you extra. But he will ship it anywhere.
Yeah, man, that's freaking sweet. I mean, he's a good dude. I've only hung out with him a couple of times, but he's a nice guy.
The possibility also exists that we may be making a switch back to IRC next week. If we do that, we'll have a few other precautions and a few other. We'll have links to the other chat or to backup chats widely available.
Right.
Because this chat is interesting, but I don't necessarily know if it's working quite the way we want it to.
Yeah, it seems to be limited in different ways.
Yes. So yes, for the people saying IRC next week, please, that's definitely a possibility. We're going to be looking into it. So we'll let you know next week.
Okay, let's see if I can get this thing to show up with the audio.
One last thing to talk about, a crucifixion that we missed last week that because Matt had the video and he was traveling.
Are we gonna skip the cotton testes again?
Oh, are we? Hold on. I'll share that picture while Mass is doing this.
We should at least share the picture because that's been on our notes for like 3 weeks.
I will share the picture while Mass is doing this. So in terms of the DNA, just so that people have it in terms of the DNA, this is a link that somebody did of cotton testing with the DNA.
Which I found personally fascinating, being that I haven't been able to play with it yet.
And those were the different temperatures that he tested and what happened at each individual temperature.
With cotton.
Yes. So that's an interesting concept right there.
I think that's cool.
Are we ready for the crucifixions?
Nah, the video, no, not yet.
So somebody in the chat, BMX just said, do people use 350s? And yes, the answer to this is yes, they do. Not so much in the States, but around the greater world, yeah, they definitely use 350s because they vape differently than we do over here.
Really, really high-end peeps.
Right.
350s and 500s.
Okay, I got it working now. So whenever you're ready.
Like for example, like the La Petite Gros.
Yeah, I know a few people here who have one.
Do you remember? I was talking about a setup I got to play with at work. That the name I said it was something French.
Yeah.
That's the one I played with.
La Petite Gros.
Okay, so to do the intro for this video, this is a video that I saw on one of the groups online. Okay, and it was a person asking, hey, what is wrong with my box? I have this mechanical box and something's wrong with it. It makes this noise. The switch vibrates under my finger, okay, and it stays firing by itself. Okay, so if you're watching, turn the volume up so you can actually hear the switch whining. Okay, this is what happens when you put 10, 20, 30, 40, 60 amps through a 2-amp switch. All right, here we go. Wrong thing.
Is that what it sounds like?
Here you go. Hang on. Let me turn it up. And right then and there, I'll play it again, you could hear the switch arcing and staying on.
It's like an alarm clock. Like you should be up in the morning cooking breakfast.
Woo woo! You can actually see the guy's finger. It's like black.
Yep.
Actually, it sounds like a mouse fart.
So we had a chat a while ago.
There you go.
That was met with a lot of bashback about these mech boxes.
Bashback?
It was more like shit back.
Sure, shitback.
It makes sense in context. I get what you're saying. It's just funny. It's a funny word.
With telling us that we were fucking wrong. So the first thing that we did was we reached out to a bunch of Switch manufacturers, and then people still told us that we were wrong. Well, there's your video.
Yeah, and you know, so, that just and that's just one example. You know, if you have someone with these boxes, they're not necessarily going to hurt their ego by putting a video of their box blowing up or the switch melting or something like that and going, look, this is what it does. You know, so you're obviously going to see more of the it works great. I've been using it for 3 months. Then the problems. So. But one of the other thing that I wanted to mention was if you have any suggestions or you want to see something either taken apart, put back together, anything like that other than putting together an ice stick with a DNA 40 in it for tech time, shoot me an email, massblast09@gmail.com, and we'll put it on the show. So.
We'll break it for you.
Yep. The after party will be coming a little bit late. It'll be posted in the Plumes Facebook group when it goes up.
Indeed.
Yep. And
what's up?
I had a contest for next week, and those of you, I kind of showed this to a few people, so I know who you are. So if you enter the contest, you're gonna get disqualified. But I have 2 sound clips that I'm gonna play with you before we go for the end of the day today. And what I want you to do is send me, let's go ahead and let's see how we want to do the. How do we want to do the input of the information? Put it on the Plumes page, okay, on the Facebook page. What you think this person is saying in these 2 sound clips, okay? So they're very short sound clips. I want you to listen to them. It's a song. It's a rap song. If you don't like rap, you might want to leave right now. And if you can figure out what they're saying, don't look it up. Because I'm going to know if you're looking it up. We might have something for you, okay, in a way of giveaway. All right? Here we go. Here's the first one. Here's the first one.
Yeah, you gotta play the first one louder.
Oh, you want it louder? Okay, here we go. Louder, the first one. There you go. Now here's the second one.
Oh, Igor, you are forbidden from participating.
We will also accept a comment on this video or a comment on the Facebook group. But given that entire mix, can we end with a little bit of jiggy jiggy jar jar do?
You got it. All right, fellas. Y'all have a good night.
See ya.
Go. Thanks for coming by.
Peace.
The gingerbread boy, 'cause he's pretend bread boy. Little cookie man never waved to me, so he got knocked out because I flow. The jiggy jar jar dude.